Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're talking about all things astrology for June 2023.
Hi, my name is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman. I'm an intuitive psychic medium here in the Sugar Land area. That's just outside of Houston. I work with my angels and guides to assist my clients in many areas of their lives, to bring them special messages from loved ones who have passed, to dialogue with their angels for guidance into their own situation, or to assist them with their own psychic abilities. If you like my content, please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment.
That's right. For June 2023, we have a lot of energy coming at us, and some of it is amazingly great. Some of it is kind of a little sticky, but I'm going to talk you all through all of it. And so hopefully that you can get a great insight into how to kind of work your days in June 2023. So let's start out with June 1st. We have our moon in the sign of Scorpio squaring Mars in the sign of Leo. So let's break this down. Okay, so we have moon is all representing our emotional side. What are we thinking? How are we thinking things through? Kind of like the emotional energy of all of that in the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio is all about kind of like things that we've hidden in the past, kind of like this very intense, very secretive energy, things that we've kind of like don't want to deal with right away. And that squaring, and the square is all about kind of like very challenging. They're kind of feeling separate, kind of like you may be more of connected to one than the other, so it's kind of like they're kind of pulling each other's energy, and that is squaring Mars in the sign of Leo. So Mars is our planet of aggression and action and moving forward. In the sign of Leo, Leo is all about like our self-confidence, our ego-centered energy, and all about like moving this energy like in action. Let's like bring our attention to ourselves. Let's bring attention to what's going on. And so this June 1st is going to have a lot of very like tense energy. This is going to be really running high for most people, and it may be difficult to kind of control your emotions, especially if you're a little bit younger and not used to controlling your emotions near as much. So this could be one like you're like, I don't know how to deal with all of this, and this is a great way to kind of allow like our emotional side to kind of really connect with our action side. So kind of like our emotional moon energy connecting to our action Mars energy in a really good way, and kind of bringing things that we would normally hold down in that Scorpio energy and connecting it with that Leo energy of like bringing it forward. Let's talk about it. Let's bring this out so we can like really self-confidently talk about this and find a new resolution. Let's go into June 2nd. We have Venus. Sorry. We have Venus in the sign of Cancer trining Neptune in the sign of Pisces. So Venus is all about our love, our devotion, our details, our organization, and that's in the sign of Cancer, which is all about kind of like that nurturing, emotional, intuitive, intuition driven energy. And that's trining and kind of like trying to find a flow between the two of these energies. Neptune is our dreamy planet that's all about kind of like bringing our dreams forward or making us want to stay in our dreams and not getting into the real world. In the sign of Pisces, Pisces is all about like this very sensitive, imaginative, very compassionate, and also very mysterious energy. And so this is going to be very supportive of others kind of energy, and kind of really being an easy kind of flow of energy. And you can also be there in a way that you normally couldn't be there, kind of like allowing your passion to come forward, your like love for what's going on, you're changing all of that energy. These are going to be like, yes, here we go. Let's go to June 3rd. We have our full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. So our Sagittarius energy is kind of really like friendly and open-mindedness. And I will say it's also kind of like this kind of like philosophical, so you might kind of find some like new thoughts or new ideas coming forward, or old thoughts or ideas leaving, because our full moon is all about letting go and releasing things around us. So our Sagittarius full moon is all about like our strength, our commitment to our beliefs and what we decide we want to stand up for. And it can be a good way to kind of like defend our energy and kind of literally think about like, I really do think this way. I really do get behind those words. I really want to be behind this person or that person. I really want to stand in that energy. And it's kind of trying to be open. And I will tell you, sometimes people think being open is like, no, you can only hear my side. No, it's open about like hearing their side and your side and communicating and then deciding what is it that you really want to bring forward, or kind of like what is it that you want to give a voice to, and kind of be open-minded about it. You can make your own choices later on, but it's a really great way to kind of open up that communication. Let's next go to Mercury in the sign of Taurus conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So this one is going to be amazing. Let's see. Mercury is our planet of communication and all kinds of communication, text messaging, emailing, all that kind of communication and moving energy around in that communication field. Taurus is all about our sensuous, our peaceful, our stable kind of like value. What do we value is what really Taurus wants us to know. And this is conjunctions with kind of like how are we going to blend these two energies together with Uranus, which is our kind of hippy dippy, kind of like change on the fly, very free loving, like I want to just do what feels good kind of energy in the sign of Taurus, which is all about, like I said, again, this is all about our like sensuous, peaceful, grounding value. What do we value in this energy? Ideas are going to be coming in like crazy, just boom, 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 boom. This is a great time to keep a notebook and a pen by you, because you're going to have such great ideas, because if you don't, they'll be like gone in a flash, like boom, that Uranus energy, like flash it and then flash it back out. You're like, wait, that was a great idea. I didn't write it down. You got to write them down. You've got to keep track of them, because these are going to be flipping and changing energies a lot. And it's very important to kind of like hang on to that energy. Next, let's go to June 5th. On June 5th, we have Venus moving into the sign of Leo. So Venus is our planet of love, details, organization, entering the sign of Leo, which is all about being expressive, having that self-confidence, like look at me, kind of like that ego, like look at me, I'm special, I want to be special and different. So Venus in the sign of Leo can really amplify or really recharge like our romance, our affection for those that we love, the people around us. And this can be like getting us in the mood for like letting love in. And I guarantee you there are going to be lots of love connections made during this beginning part of June, because we've had this Venus in the sign of Leo. So people that have been getting divorced or dealing with all of that are kind of like letting things go. They may be a little more ready to start a new relationship after Venus enters the sign of Leo. So this is kind of one of those like, yes, let's allow that energy to move forward. Let's let this energy fly for us. Let's deal with this right away. We also have on June 5th, we also have Venus in the sign of Leo in opposition to Pluto in Aquarius. So just got in there and we're already having an opposition. Yeah. So Venus is our planet of love, details, and organization in the sign of Leo, all about our self-centered energy, kind of like our self-confidence energy, kind of bringing that in for us. And opposition is all about like, which one is going to win, that give and take? How are we going to go between the two of these opposite kind of energies? And we have Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. So Pluto is our planet of the underworld, kind of like things that we want to let go of, things that like want to move forward to kind of find that light of day in the sign of Aquarius, which is all about revolutionary energy, kind of like bringing energy up and kind of bringing this forward. This is going to be a great time to kind of really allow that to come forward. Now, I will tell you, this energy can be a little deep. It is going to be really, really kind of deep, because it's kind of like bringing up those hidden things that we've kind of held in relationships that we haven't really given a voice to. This could also be bringing up kind of like things to the surface. And because Pluto is so far out there, he always affects global entities like a county, a state, a government, so kind of like the big stuff. So there's going to be things coming forward in governments that kind of like need to find that light of day, kind of need to find that voice, that energy of like, yes, we can talk this out. And so this is going to be working on like proactively like transforming of like things that we've wanted to let go of, but we've got to look at it before we do. Before we can let it go, we've got to bring it up. So this is a really, really great one for us. Kind of like a side note to this is kind of like we've had Venus, Pluto in opposition to Venus on like some very interesting energies, but now we're going to be seeing kind of like more the sweet side of Venus, and this kind of like this energy on June 3rd is going to be kind of bringing up more like that sweeter side of both of these connections. This is going to be like, wow, here we bring it up. Here we're going to work through all of this. And this is going to be a really great time to kind of really add this detailed, this opportunity to kind of connect to your true emotions, like your heart, your mind, and your soul with this, and kind of trying to find like, how do you identify as a lover? How do you identify with your inner self? And I don't mean like a lover to love someone else. Like, how do you love anybody? How do you love yourself? How do you love your best friend, your sister, your mother, your brother, your spouse, your partner, all of those things? Like, how do you express your love to everybody else? So that's going to be kind of like, wow, bringing this energy in. Now, I will tell you that kind of the signs I know that are going to be having like the strangest time with that is Aquarius. This is a period of time that you might find like some personal traits or some aspirations that can kind of be a little challenging, because it's like a lot of times like they want to bring up the energy and then let it go. Like, they want to bring up that revolution and we want to let it go. But this is the time that it's going to be like being honest and vulnerable could feel a little sensitive, and it can be a little overwhelming too. Now, the next one that will be kind of a little bit of a challenge too is Leos, because Leos love that sense of love and commitment and identifying and transferring like that love to someone else. Like, how can I show you how much I love you? How can you show me how much you love me? And bringing up this amazing energy. And it can be really a little difficult if you've not been really giving it a voice, if you've not been giving your love a voice and wanting it to kind of bring it out and really talk it out. Now, the next one is kind of with the energy, anybody who has that Taurus energy. And this is going to be a very tricky one, because Venus, its placement in the sign of Taurus, is squaring against kind of like Aquarius energy as well. And so this is going to be kind of like finding a little bit challenging of kind of like, how do I kind of move this energy forward? How do I kind of give this a voice? How do I kind of bring a value to what I love? And it's maybe bringing up some new ideas or some new thoughts in this area. I know that's a lot for June 5th. So here we go into June 6th. We have our moon in Capricorn trining Mercury in the sign of Taurus. So on one hand, we've got moon, our emotions, in the sign of Aquarius, that revolutionary kind of like energy, and kind of like that intelligent, unpredictable, like, where are we going to go next energy. And a trine is all about finding like this easy flow between the two. And it is Mercury in the sign of Taurus. So Mercury is about communication, all communication. And it's about, and in the sign of Taurus is going to be kind of like, how do we express like our grounding? How do we express what we value? How do we express our different ideas? This energy is great for some very strong ideas and can work through some very tangible ideas, kind of like, where do I want to go with this? Where do I want to put my value? Where do I want to put my time and my emotions into things? And it can take you on a very practical approach to see what needs to be done. Like, how do I voice this out? How do I say this? This is going to be like, yes, here we go. Here we go. Next one. June 8th, we have our moon in the sign of Aquarius squaring Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So our moon, our emotions, Aquarius, revolutionary energy, and this is squaring. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, and kind of like finding like which one's going to kind of push its energy, kind of like finding that energy between the two. And like I said, it may be pushing and pulling a little bit as well. Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Uranus is all of our hippy dippy free flow energy. Let's change things on a dime. Let's go, let's go, let's go. In the sign of Taurus, and that Taurus energy is really about kind of like being spontaneous, being peaceful, finding our value and what do we love, all of those kind of energies. This is going to be a very restless energy and probably pretty strong for most people, and it is going to be an excuse to kind of lash out, or kind of like when things don't feel comfortable. That's usually when people kind of like throw things back at you, kind of like, I don't like this. And it doesn't mean that it's bad, it just means that they're dealing with a lot of emotions at that time frame. This can really create a lot of drama, especially if people love drama. It's going to be drawing that drama out even more. Try to stay focused on small changes. Little bitty changes are going to be a little bit easier. Those big ones, especially for people that are not used to voicing it out, are going to be like really, how do we do this? Definitely. Let's go into June 9th. Mercury in the sign of Taurus sextile Neptune in the sign of Pisces. So Mercury, communication, all communication in the sign of Taurus. What do we value? What do we love? Kind of like bringing in that very peaceful, sensitive, grounding energy. Sextiling, and that is going to be kind of like creating opportunities and flowing in great energy between the two of these. Uranus, which is all about changing and freedom and changing our mind and making new choices in the sign, June 9th, we have Mercury in the sign of Taurus, sextile Neptune in the sign of Pisces. And so Mercury is our planet of communication, all communication. Taurus is our grounded, sensitive, sensuous kind of energy. And this is sextiling, which is all about kind of like finding the opportunities and what's about to happen. Neptune is our dreamy blue planet. This is going to be bringing in some amazing energies in this dreamy blue planet. Kind of like, where's our reality? Is it more in the dream life or more in the real life? Where are we going with this? In the sign of Pisces, which is very mystical and magical and can be a little imaginative and very sensitive as well. This energy is about imagination, and it can be very beneficial, and it can also bring us to use any kind of work, our daily task, our chores, and kind of our hobbies, and kind of moving that energy forward, kind of like bringing this into what's coming up around us and kind of that amazing energy. Our imagination is going to be on overload, so know that you're going to have like amazing daydreams. You're going to have amazing insights into things. So just know that it's like, here we make these changes. Here we go with all of this. Let's move to June 11th. We have Pluto entering the sign of Capricorn. So Pluto is our planet of the underworld, and kind of like things that we've kind of like pushed back or don't want to deal with, or kind of been holding under the ground. And Capricorn energy is all about being practical, very ambitious, and very masterful, kind of like mastering this energy. Pluto comes back to Capricorn after spending a few months in the new sign of Aquarius. Pluto is nearing the end of its time in Capricorn, so it's kind of like backed up into that energy a little bit. This period of Pluto back in Capricorn will be very focused on finishing and finalizing the transformations and bringing more energy up. It's one of those, it's also going to be changing because Pluto's so far out there. You've heard me say this a million times. Pluto's so far out there, he's going to affect global entities. So this could be governments, this could be states, this could be counties. Usually it will affect people very, very little, like individual people very little, but it'll affect globally a lot of people. And this is really kind of bringing in transformations. And this is kind of like finding our goals as a country, as a state. Where do we want to go? Kind of like, where do we want our life to go in? And what are we responsible for? How do we divide all of this up? So it's going to be like, yeah. On the same day, on June 11th, we have Mercury moving into the sign of Gemini. Mercury, our planet of communication, all communication, in the sign of Gemini, which is all about mentally, kind of being on that mental side, kind of communication and our perception. Mercury moves into one of the signs that it's naturally rules. So it's going to be like, I found home. I found home. So this is going to have a little extra mental energy mixed in there. This have a lot of great ideas of how to communicate and move forward in this. There's going to be a lot of short-term plans in Mercury and Gemini over the next few weeks. And so you can keep your energy and your mind busy as much as you want. And this is going to be varying that energy as well. So it's going to be kind of like we're really moving a lot, and then other times we're not barely moving at all. So this is a great time to kind of really connect to that amazing energy. Next, we have, or right before this happens, like literally hours before this happens, we have Mercury in the sign of Taurus trine Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. So we have Mercury, our planet of communication, and all communication, in the sign of Taurus, which is all about being peaceful and sensuous and kind of like this grounded, value-driven energy. And trine is all about finding this easy flow between the two. In Pluto is our god of our underworld and kind of like things that we don't want to work through, things that we want to let go of. In the sign of Capricorn, that Capricorn energy is all about kind of like very practical, very like grounded energy, very masterful in what it's doing. With Pluto freshly back into the sign of Capricorn, just before Mercury exits Taurus, so it's kind of like right before this happens, like literally hours before it happens, the two meet up for a kind of a pleasant connection that helps us find like, what do we want to do? How do we want to deal with this? And really finding a serious approach to kind of things that are going out of whack in our life, or kind of like giving it a voice and kind of bringing it forward all at the same time. This is a great one. Next, we have Venus in the sign of Leo squaring Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. Venus, our planet of love, details, and organization, in the sign of Leo, which is all about our self-confidence, our ego, kind of like wanting that energy on us, like we want to be most important. And this is squaring, so this is kind of bringing some challenge, like which one's going to win in this one. Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. Jupiter, our planet of luck and communication and abundance, in the sign of Taurus, which is all about being sensuous and being peaceful, grounded, and asking us all the time, what do you value? This can be some very lazy energy and kind of really lack motivation, kind of like, I just don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I don't find a value in things. And this is going to be kind of a strange energy of something in particular, that there may be some issues that you've got to see eye to eye on with someone else. And so it's kind of like, how are we going to do this? And this is the great day to kind of bring those oppositions or those two different viewpoints together so you can talk things out. And like that kind of that lazy energy with it is kind of coming through of like, don't rush through it. Take your time. Don't rush, like rush. Taking your time in what's going on around you. Next, on June 12th, we have our moon in the sign of Aries, and that is sextiling our sun in the sign of Gemini. So our moon is all about our emotions and kind of like the energy, that all of our emotional energy that comes forward. Our Aries energy is very forceful and courageous and can be a little impulsive. And our sextile is all about kind of cheering it or kind of finding our opportunities in this energy. Our sun is our ego and our kind of like our self inside, like what do we want to do in all of this. In Gemini, which is all about communication and mentally thinking about things and being kind of like, where do we want to go with all of this energy? This together is going to be taking a step back and taking it easy, being comfortable with yourself in your life. So you may have like some thinking about that, like, am I really where I want to be in my life? Are there some changes that I want to make in my life? This is going to be making some amazing changes for everybody. So make sure that you're allowing this energy to change. Let's move to June 14th. We have our moon in the sign of Taurus squaring Mars in the sign of Leo. So let's go. Mercury, communication, all communication. Gemini, all about our mental side, like our thinking, our communication, our perceptiveness around us. And this is squaring. So this is all about like challenging or finding like different purposes on each side. Saturn in the sign of Pisces. Saturn is our planet of foundation, infrastructure, all of that, kind of the basics of things. And in the sign of Pisces, which is all about kind of like this mystery, this imaginative energy that's kind of trying to move forward. This is all about this focus may be really challenging today, finding your focus on what do you want to push your energy into. There may be also something that is taking up all of your mental energy, kind of like it's spinning you out, but you're not really finding like, where do you want to go in this? Where am I kind of finding the attraction in all of this? This is going to be an amazing first half of June, and the second half doesn't disappoint as well. I will guarantee you that there are some amazing energies that we're going to want to connect into, and I guarantee that you're going to want to watch the angel cards, because this is going to give you your angel's perception of what's going on around us. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.